There's a couple of takeaways which I've taken away from hopping from one session to the other and also from the plenary sessions. And actually one key is, and that is actually what we as BSCI also want to emphasize more and more and more, is we need to go beyond auditing. I think that was also clearly one of the messages today. Still, auditing remains an important measurement tool. However, we will not go without auditing completely. We will need it also in the future, but we also have to see what do we do beyond this. And the topic of remedy was one of the key topics of today, and in this respect, particularly the whole issue of capacity building, grievance mechanisms, and also there I think the breakout session helped to get a more concrete idea of how that could be done, how that could look like in practice, as well as the work with stakeholders at local level that was pointed out at various occasions and also in various of the breakout sessions as a key towards really doing something meaningful beyond auditing and following the objective to improve social compliance in global supply chains. Transparency was also another key word we heard a lot today, and a takeaway probably also most importantly from the respective breakout session was it is possible. However, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, but there are tools out there to make this happen. So no reason to be afraid of it, but actually get an incentive to really get more transparency, even in complex supply chains. And in this respect, always combined with the rule that everybody who's going for this should also do what he or she preaches. Get the management systems up and running in your own organization first, before then also going further down in the supply chain, requesting for more transparency and see what is happening there. Another key item I've seen in many places also today again was the topic of incentives for suppliers. So something in this regard also has to be done. There needs to be a relationship which is really up and running with the suppliers, so it is not enough just to confront them, so to say, with a code of conduct and confront them with a set of expectations and criteria, but really build up a strong, meaningful relationship, ideally a long-term relationship. I think also this morning we had a very interesting presentation advocating for this and also showing it is possible and it actually really leads to improvements. So it is possible. The local controlling, in inverted commas, was also mentioned. So it is always necessary to really have ears, hands and feet on the ground in the sourcing markets on a very broad level. It is not possible to steer this thousands of kilometers away. It is really important that we are all present in the sourcing markets and really have a very close contact ourselves to see what is going on and to really generate and trigger the improvements needed. And talking about the suppliers and the supply chain is of course one thing, but what are companies doing in terms of buying practices? That was another key topic of the conference, I would say as well. Buying practice does play a big role. And not only in the context of screening potential new markets for sourcing, but also when looking at the, let's say, traditional sourcing countries. And also there I would like to pick one quote from John Ruggie from this morning, who said, well, responsible purchasing is as important as responsible manufacturing. And I think this is also the spirit in which BSCI goes forward with this new code of conduct. In particular, it is important that you know the markets, and it's also necessary to know the circumstances in the sourcing markets, to know the law. And there I already had a small discussion with Hermann Puhlmann, where I told him, okay, I will look into the legal systems and the labor laws of the 10 key sourcing markets. I don't know how fast I can accomplish this, but maybe this is really something BSCI needs to look into as well, how we can boost our support for members in this respect indeed. Another key topic of the day was surely cooperation. Cooperation at different levels. I already mentioned the strong relationships, the meaningful cooperation between buyers and suppliers, but also the cooperation among BSCI participants, among the buyers, is key to move things really to use the leverage which is there, which should be used and which can be used. And what was also pointed out, and particularly in the breakout session, focusing on that, was really to maximize also the support still from the BSCI Secretariat. So this is also a clear issue which I also take home, so to say, with my colleagues, that we also will look into how we can improve the support, enlarge the support for you as members. And that has already been also quite a key topic yesterday. And so I think that just reflects again how important that is. And also the cooperation with stakeholders was pointed out at various occasions, and with very interesting and very good examples, also particularly in different breakout sessions this morning and this afternoon. And I think that also shows this is possible. There's a good range of stakeholders in the sourcing markets with which we can partner with as companies, and we also have to partner with if we really want to move things in the sourcing markets, because we rely on partners on the ground. And particularly important, it seems to me, this is also with regard to child labor. That was also a key thing we saw also in the breakout session this afternoon in this context. I think one of the learnings also from this breakout session this afternoon was simply there are tools out there which make it possible to tackle it. It's not an easy thing, but it is possible. It's a long-term thing, but we have to go to this and we have to get started with it. And we cannot say we are afraid of it because it's so tricky to tackle and then we don't do anything. No, we can do something about it. And so the tools are out there. So these were some bullet points with the key issues which I've taken on board as key learnings from this day today. There's probably many more things which can be said and many more books which can be written and which surely will be written about these topics. But that is clearly the case that we will continue our efforts to support BSCI participants and continue the good dialogue with the stakeholders, how we can tackle all these issues, particularly with regard putting this new code of conduct in place. It's a new challenge. It is not easy either, but we are able to make it. I'm very sure of that, and we will make that happen. So thank you very, very much. All the best.